Hello, my name is Taylor Mattingly, and I am a multimedia reporting journalism student here at the University of Illinois. For Project 1, I was surprised at how much I sort of struggled with it. I thought I knew cameras pretty well, being that I've worked with them time and time again. My mom spends money on expensive cameras, and I'm always like the photographer at family events, but it was interesting to learn how to actually use the camera and learn what each of the settings does and how they work and how they affect the picture quality, what the picture's doing, what you're actually getting from the picture. So for this project, some of the things that I think I did really well was, I think with my morning, noon, and night, I did a really good job of choosing places that showed off that difference in the day. You can see the heavy shadows in the set that I chose, which I took pictures of morning, noon, and night in 4 different locations, and in each of those different locations I tried to capture different aspects, but the ones that I went with, you could see the hard shadows throughout the day on the building, and also I liked to be able to see the time passing through the photos. I thought that that was really important. I wanted to show that my little hometown, my little small town, could be this lively town on a Saturday. And you see the morning picture I was out about 6:30 in the morning, and there's a couple cars on the road, and of course the morning light that's kind of cooler toned. And then by mid-afternoon, there's people walking across the street to go to the little hometown candy kitchen. I also think that that was a really cool spot to choose to show that whole downtown theme, because I think a lot of places have really gotten rid of that history, and in my town we still have some brick roads, and our candy kitchen has the Coca-Cola background, and it's when it was 5 cents, and the candy kitchen has been family owned for years. It's still in the Flesser's name. And I think that it's really cool to capture that life and that history in my town while capturing the livelihood of the community itself. One of the things that I really struggled with was finding a no-color photo or a monochromatic photo. That was the one that I looked, and I kept looking, and I'm like, it's one of those things where I feel like a lot of people nowadays, everything seems so colorful. Our world is in vivid color. You buy TVs with amazing color. You buy phones and you look at the color, the LCD or like HD, and just like that quality is really important to us. I think that we've taken a lot of our non-color or monochromatic things out of our life. But I think what I ended up finding or realizing was in my own house was that I have very neutral painted walls. We have brown couches to match that. So I kind of went with like a sepia theme. So it's a color, like it's the sepia almost like filter, but it's just how my house looks, or at least my living room. And so I thought that that ended up being okay, but that was something that I really struggled with taking a picture. I think it's interesting that phone cameras are being incorporated into this more and more. Particularly like for this project we had to take a selfie. And I feel like our generation has this upper hand because we've been around this technology for so long growing up. Like I had a cell phone in 2nd grade, and I think that we have an upper hand just because we understand, oh, this is good lighting. Like, I look good in this lighting. I look good with these shadows type background. Having that knowledge, I definitely think, gives us an upper hand. And I think that that's cool that we're actually being encouraged to use our phones. Because some phones that I have had have better cameras than some cameras that I have had. Better megapixels, better zoom. I think that's just very interesting that we're actually incorporating that. Some of the other areas that I struggled finding color, I didn't want to do something that was basic. Like, of course, if I walk into a market, I'm going to see color because with the fruits, or I'm going to see color with the boxes or the cereals or the chips. But I wanted something that was almost just like walked into it kind of color. And so I was just literally walking around campus, and I walked across these motorcycles, and all the motorcycles are sitting there, and it's red, blue, green, and then there's the yellow parking blocks, and I thought that that was perfect. I was like, this is exactly what I want. They're primary colors. They just happened to be parked next to each other. You don't know the story behind it. You don't know if the guys that rode the motorcycles knew each other. They just happened to be parked there, and it set up for a perfect shot for me to choose for my color. One of the things that I'm really proud of is my blurred action photo. I chose to go to one of my hometown's volleyball games, which is weird for me to go back because I don't know anybody there anymore. But I wanted to capture the life in the volleyball game, and so I thought it was really cool how those pictures turned out, because all of them, it's like she goes up to serve, and when they serve, their heads go back, and so since their head was moving, you almost don't see a head on them, or you see their arm disappear because that movement is gone because they moved so quickly. The one that I chose, she's jumping in the air, and you see the movement of the girls around her. I think that was really cool, and I think that turned out really awesome. But I struggled with the non-action or the stop action. I couldn't decide what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do something that I set up and like had a friend, oh, jump off this step and jump in the air or whatever. I didn't want to do something like that. I wanted to find something that I could stop the action of naturally. And so it took me a really long time to find. And I think what I ended up finding was really good, but I definitely struggled capturing it, and I also didn't know for sure if it would fit into the guidelines, but I think if I'm understanding what you were looking for, it did. And so I took a picture of this fountain, and so the picture looks like the fountain just froze. And so I think that it ended up being okay, but I struggled to figure out what I wanted to do with that because I didn't want to set up a scene or have somebody do something for me that I could take. I wanted it to be naturally occurring. So all in all, Project 1 showed me a lot of things about my camera. I realized that I was mindlessly taking photos on auto mode, and I really appreciate actually like learning what each button on the camera does, or what they mean, or how they affect the picture quality, or how they affect the picture in general, the speed, the shutter, the flash. I think that's going to be really helpful as I continue out throughout my career. So thank you for watching.